Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Tocqueville. Senator Kelly, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Admiral, earlier today downstairs we talked a little bit about militarization in the South China Sea. They now have the world's, the Chinese have the world's largest Coast Guard. They use it as part of a strategy to assert dominance. You talked about how they're now claiming it as territorial waters. They use coercion and intimidation tactics to bully countries, including the Philippines, and a country we have a mutual defense treaty with. And the Chinese are regularly intimidating Philippine vessels at the Second Thomas Shoal and continue dangerous and escalatory actions that threaten peaceful shipping in one of the world's busiest waterways. Late last year, China was upset when the USS Gabrielle Giffords, named after my wife, continued routine operations in the area after conducting joint patrols with the Philippine Navy, lawful patrols. As you finish your time as the Indo-PACOM commander and prepare to hand the reins to Admiral Paparo, can you talk about what you've learned about China's actions in the South China Sea and what would happen? We discussed this a little bit downstairs, some concerns about if there was actually, some engagement like escalatory between China and the Philippines, and if maybe somebody had gotten hurt.
Yes, Senator. So, again, we continue to articulate that Article 5 of the Mutual Defense Treaty applies if as our allies, the Philippines, were to be attacked. And then that would change a bit of the scope of what's happening there at Second Thomas Shoal. So I articulate that the bullying behavior is broad and it's across the region from India to the Malaysia to Vietnam, all across the region. And I think that it would be beneficial for China to be able to interweave into the international order that all countries have defined. I believe there's a peaceful way out of this. There's a place for China in this world. They're just going to have to understand that the nations of the globe require a set of international standards and behaviors that are acceptable, and what they're executing now is not.
And how do you feel our relationship is with the Philippine government with regards to Second Thomas Shoal and anything we could work on there? I'm going to be in the region next week, and that's something, if there was something that you specifically would raise with the President Marcos or the Philippine Navy, what would that be?
I've sat with President Marcos twice in the last 3.5 months. Number one, I thanked him for his leadership, for articulating what is acceptable and what's not. I'm incredibly impressed by Minister of Defense Teodoro's leadership as well as my counterpart, General Brawner. So they are fighting for their sovereignty. They're fighting for the international rules-based order, and we continue to support them both in legal domains, in the information space, and in the military space as we execute joint patrols and other cooperation activities in the form of maritime domain awareness. So, again, my message to the Philippines is always, you're our ally, we're with you, and we're here to help maintain the peace as well as their sovereignty.
And just for my own, personal information, what's going on around Scarborough Shoals? I used to spend a lot of time down there when I was in Westpac. Is there similar Chinese activity in that area?
There's absolutely similar coercive and actions being taken to prevent Philippines from being able to fish there and operate in that vicinity.
All right. Thank you, Admiral. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator Kelly. Senator Schmidt, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And both of you, thank you for your